Hello, welcome to the Kristen Willow Show. I'm your host, Kristen Volosinovich, and here in the hot seat is one of my main men. I know I say this, they're all my good friends, but with the relaunch of the show, I'm bringing in the heavy hitters who are showing up for me. So without further ado, you ready? He is, you're much more than this, but you are a growth coach, you're a life coach, you are very, very in high demand speaker, and you change people's lives, and that's why we've been friends for so long. The one and only Terry Bean.
That's quite the reception. I appreciate
You like
that.
that?
Yeah,
It's the
I didn't see that
audience.
coming.
It's a studio audience.
We are live in front of people.
We are packed.
Yeah.
So, T-Bean, you and I met, it probably was like 15 years ago, I would say.
It's got to be a dozen. Yeah.
At least. And you were just amazing, and we'll get to how we met, but we just clicked, and you've been a real big friend and confidant. And also, the thing you do best is you're the best connector.
I would do that sometimes. Yeah, it's fun, right? You got to help people. Got to move them forward.
That's why you're so special, because you are so about meeting people or whatever, and then putting the pieces with the right puzzle pieces.
I love that.
You thrive on it.
I do. And it's something that's really important. It's part of who I am. And it's always interesting to find people that don't do that. I'm like, wait a second. Why? I was standing the other day, I was at a golf outing, and my buddy was talking to the organizer, and I was standing right there waiting for the introduction, and it didn't happen. So I introduced myself, and I called him. I'm like, dude, if I ever hear you say to anybody you're a connector, I'm calling BS on you straight away.
Because you're not.
Because you didn't.
Right.
Like, it took 4 seconds. Hey, this is Terry. This is Matt. It's that easy.
And that's funny, because I'm a connector and a cultivator, but you've really helped me hone in that craft. I mean, I did it, but you've connected me to so many people, and I haven't connected you to as many people as you have to me. But isn't it, now that I feel it's what I do, isn't it weird, like you just said, in that scenario, when people are like, they don't get the conception of it?
It's wild to me, because I thought that's what we were supposed to do, is connect dots.
We're
right?
all connected.
That's
really.
it, right? It is straight from the top to the bottom.
100%.
Level of connection. The biggest illusion on this planet is separation. There is none.
And now we're like, post-pandemic, that's the problem. Isolation, loneliness, depression, anxiety, and where this is like a cure for it.
Right. Go talk to people.
100%.
Imagine how much better the political discourse would be if we actually just talked to people.
Or what if we listened?
Oh my gosh, don't even go there. Come on, people can't handle that.
There's a thought. Or not get emotive when you're listening.
Just ask a question and shut the hell up.
And be,
all right,
okay.
I'm in.
Cool, yeah. Where am I going? It's so funny, too, because I've got, I work with a lot of, very powerful people. And I'll be like, for some of them, oh, you've got to meet so-and-so. No, you can go handle it. You can do it. And some are just kind of gun shy. They are, some of them.
What do you think drives that? Do you think people are naturally reclusive? They're like a bunch of little hobbits running around, or they don't know how to act, or they just dislike people in general?
Could be all of the above. I think it's a small margin. You can't get that successful without having lots of meetings and lots of hard conversations. I think, though, the networking, here's what I know personally that people struggle with. I plant the seed knowing there's going to be, some give back. There's going to be a relationship. It's not going to be tomorrow or the next day. Could be 6 months, could be tomorrow. But ultimately, that seed's planted, and it'll click, and it'll come full circle eventually. But I think there's this illusion is once they connect, it's like, don't connect me unless it's already done, unless a deal is done or a contract is signed. And, that's the case a lot with the business contracts, but in terms of having networking with people, power of influence, that influence gives you power in itself, whether it's a monetary, relationship or not. You'll get something out of it.
So it's the short attention span, it's the instant gratification, and it's the ain't nobody got time for that because I'm super busy.
Money.
Yeah.
Am I making money off this? Am I wasting? I got to be laser focused. Is this wasting my time? Is there money involved?
You know, this is actually a really good jump off point to tip or point number 1 on your sheet there.
Yeah, behavioral elements.
You said that very well.
I did?
You acted like you were going to struggle with it.
No, stroke like.
Yeah.
It's a filler in my lips.
Is it making them hard to move or what? A little heavy?
Can't move my face.
So when you do duck lip selfies now, does it have a whole different impact? It'll be okay.
Dude, wait for the drink.
Yeah.
You mean when I do them now or for the past decade?
Yeah. Well, I meant the new and improved lip situation.
I'm not gonna lie, the boob year. Remember the boob year, you guys? That was because my grandma is like, put them away, and I'm defiant, and I put them out and away.
Out and
I did 1 year of it and retired them. They've been put away.
Oh my goodness! Is your grandma proud?
She passed away 2 years ago, but I got that boob year in
Before, so she got to
she
experience
was 90.
that.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. So check that bucket list. But let's talk about behavioral elements, because we had Dr. Kathy Barton Brown, who's a psychotherapist, renowned, very well respected, and her first point was talking about civility. So I see this kind of tying into hand in hand behavioral element. Go.
So behavioral elements is this construct where we really look at the 4 primary drivers of human behavior. And so drive number 1 is the drive to acquire. And in the behavioral elements parlance, we call that fire. And so those people that have that drive to acquire are really interested in getting more. They're driven, they're winners, they're competitive.
They're focused.
They're determined,
Hyper.
They're resilient, they get it done. You've got a ton of fire in you.
I know,
But
that's why I don't sleep.
That networking piece doesn't work well with people that are driven to acquire, because the delayed gratification. They want it and they want it now. Mm-hmm. They don't want chit chat. They just want to win.
And to your point with that, and these guys will know, is that like I took 1.5 years and we focused highly on relaunching On the Town magazine, and I wrote for 1.5 years and I went off the grid after 8 years of podcasting, right? It was hard, wasn't it, you guys? Zach and Celeste missed me a lot. And then my dad Zach hired him for his company. Everyone wants to steal my people. And I told my dad, I'm getting Zach back. Well, I went into a hole, isolated, and it was the worst time of my life. And I can say that for sure. In 2023, the entire year, I was like a Sandy Bullock movie. I was the writer and my editor, his mom too, and our editor. I wasn't meeting deadline. I had writer's block. I didn't leave my house. It was really tough because I am fiery, and now we relaunched this and I feel so back home in my space. And it's called grit. But with this comes abundance. Congratulations. My phone blowing up. I have Mila's wedding. I have 2 grandsons. I have family. Like, there's a lot on this plate that I can't give a lot to like I used to, though I do try to, but I've got to shut it out because there's too much. And that makes sense.
There's a lot going on.
You have the same thing. I mean, you have a huge Rolodex. So you're busy, but
I'm a people collector.
You are. I am too. But you're at the stage with you and your wife, and your daughter's older and has autonomy where you have the time now to give. I thought I was going to have more time, but Mila ruined my midlife crisis, or she saved my life.
Enhanced
in
it.
having back-to-back of the most beautiful grandsons on this planet. No one's cuter than them. So grit, keep going, drive.
So we got fire. The next drive is the drive to bond. And while you have fire, you are watery as all get out. And the drive to bond is represented by water. Mm-hmm. And that is the people. They're the ones that care about others. They're empathetic.
Sincerely.
They listen well. They're genuine. Where fire wants to win, water wants other people to win. So much so that in dealing with conflict,
we don't win.
We'll put ourselves second.
I do that. My dad said, you give your shirt to everyone, you're not going to have a shirt. I said, well, look at my closet. I have a Kardashian closet, and I do.
Look at my boobs.
Yeah. Look at them. Go back to 2020. They're on hiatus. But what I'm saying, the abundance is beautiful, but it's not been monetary. I have gone second. You're absolutely right. Yep. In my drive for other people to help other people.
That's it.
And that's what I've had to stop and focus on me. The thing with that too is it's hard because it's ingrained in me, and people have a lot of misperception about me. And I think you too were either glorified or vilified, no in between, until they get to know us and they know we sincerely care. Like, this isn't a front. This isn't a gimmick. Like, people will go, I'm really surprised by your big heart. That's the biggest surprise for everyone. People that, not my friends or family or people I grew up with or, know, but.
That's interesting. I thought you wore your big heart on your sleeve, so I didn't know that anybody would ever question that. Yeah, I'm like, wait a second. Do. But you're obviously a blue blood, so top shelf. That.
You don't have to brag about me.
Yeah, take it down a notch.
You should see the grandsons. They are total royalty, and I knew it. And the bond, real quick, water, I am a Cancer, 2 days from the Leo cusp, which is fire. It's the most complicated astrological sign.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does indeed. It tracks for sure. So the third drive is the drive to learn. And so the ability to show up as curious and to be innovative and be visionary and be creative. And those folks are super fun. They're very tangential. They're all over the map, but they can seem like complete and total airheads when you're talking to them because they're not really always there. They're floating around up here in the ethers, and they're the ones that are thinking big ideas, doing the brainstorming, and helping push things forward. They're more worried about what's next than what's now.
Wow, I'm all three.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, with that, people thinking, and you guys get this, but you know me, people think I'm not listening. I absorb everything that's said in the room, and people think I'm just off, squirrel, when in reality, I hear everything people say. I have great recall.
Yeah, because you can pay attention to multiple things because you're not a linear thinker.
No.
Like our friends who are drive number 4, the drive to defend, also known as Earth. These folks are linear thinkers, right? Task-oriented, start a project, finish a project, start another project. Clean desk, everything in order, system-orientated, process-orientated, taskmaster, detail people.
Protocol A to Z. And what is that again? Drive to?
That's drive to defend.
Okay.
They're big into justice and fairness and rules.
I identify. Okay, I don't identify with rules. Mm-hmm. I'm working on that. Mm-hmm. But can I tell you this? I'm in a position right now where I have this creative outlet. I'm living things are going well, but I have to wear that hat driven to rules. Right now, I have to hone in on it. I'm told look, I've worked in corporate America. I can read a room. I can speak the language of the natives, but I'm also who I am. So the freak flag will fly and humor, right? And I really have to hone that in. I'm being told to really refine and upgrade and cultivate my sophistication. And it's challenging. It's really not that I can't be sophisticated and read a room and leave. I can do that.
This is not my space.
But it's unprogramming who my authenticity is, which hasn't always been, which can be very beneficial monetarily, but for the most part, it's giving everyone and lifting everyone else and taking me out of the equation where my person believes this component that I need to bring back in and refine will help me get to my goals where I need to be. Do you agree with that?
I think there's some truth to it, but I also think it's entirely possible if you've got to change who you are, you're chasing the wrong people, right? So it's an interesting fact that we attract people that are like us or want what we have.
Or want to destroy us.
I'm not into the whole hater thing, dude. That's anybody that's ever trying to pull you down is already beneath you. I don't even listen to that. I don't. Are
you saying that because I had pneumonia?
Is it? It was. It was like you were smoking and elated. Stop drinking. Maybe try that.
I actually have stopped drinking quite a bit.
Oh, okay. I was talking about the coffee.
I'm super sober, and that's fun. I really am.
So there's been 40,000 people that have gone through this assessment. 20% of them show up as fire, the drive to acquire. 20% of them show up as air, the drive to learn. 50% of them show up as the drive to bond or water. And only 10% show up as earth, the drive to defend.
That is I believe those numbers. So I thought after turning 50, my goal was going to be to listen more. I've been really working hard on that. It's a work in progress.
Superhero
and
skill.
I can identify with, 1, 2, and 3 is me. 4,
it's a work in progress.
Work in progress. Number 5.
That's it. There's only 4. So we make it real easy because we want it to be super relatable. So you can see who someone is in how they walk, how they talk, how they think, how they dress, and you can understand who you're talking with. Because the best piece of advice I can give anyone, whether they're a leader, a salesperson, a marketing person, is meet people where they are, right? So using this framework, you get an idea of who someone is, what's going to drive their behavior, what's going to motivate them, so you can speak to them in a language that's going to help you align. Exactly.
And that's another, to your point, thing that you have to tackle is ensuring that the person you are having discourse with has the understanding to what you're speaking to. That is a challenge.
It's a challenge, especially if you don't have any idea who they are and they're coming in cold. The last thing I want to say about this before we move on is we all have all 4 elements in varying degrees. My air is my primary driver, water's a close second, fire's up there as third.
I feel like mine's fire.
Earth is non-existent.
I know.
It's so sad. And yet I still got things done. I've still written books.
Do you think would you try to integrate Earth in your life?
Yeah, for sure, right? You work on a little bit, but I don't spend much time, right? I'd rather play way higher in my strengths and find other people to do the earthy things.
Me too. I find earthy people. I am the earth now, but to me, I'm kind of taking it on because I've done a lot right. I've done some things.
You've done some super cool stuff.
Yeah, I and his mom and my team, we've done shit no one can do, and that's the truth. We've made magic, moved mountains. We've done some naughty shit too, but that's behind us. And but we're just an entourage. We're just. The thing is, we had fun doing it. We laughed. That's what we were happy. And so that makes it all worth everything, the feast, the famine, the highs, the lows. But coming back to this earth, oh my God, that just really was profound. We're back to earth is such a challenge for me that's I want to take it on. I want to cultivate it, and I see it so out of my wheelhouse, and it's so hard. That's why I want to take it on, and maybe that's a fire in me.
So, right, because you want to win, and it's a new game. Right? You want to get fire people to do something, gamify it, and let them win.
Yes, because you will win. Can't stop, won't stop, regardless.
That's it.
Even if you fall down, you're getting back up. It's grit.
Fall down 7 times, get up 8.
It's staying power.
It's got to.
And you have to have thick skin, and you have to have drive. This is not for, everybody wants a podcast. I love it, being the OG podcast. Love to hear everyone. But it's hard. A lot of them can't sustain it. They'll do 1 or 2, and that's it.
I'm thinking back. I think you were on my show back in 2015.
I was on your show.
I forgot all about that until this very moment. Isn't that cute?
We're cute.
Way back, right?
That-
Like 2021 was the year that everybody said, "Oh, we have to have a podcast now." And I'm like, oh,
Everyone
yeah.
podcasts.
Been there, done that.
Right.
It's cool though. I like podcasts. Is this a video show or
It
just
is.
audio?
It's a vlog.
It's
It goes
a
on a
vlog.
YouTube channel.
Okay.
So
I have
look,
to sit up
look right
straight.
there. No, that's
Well,
what
I
you
know.
look like.
I know I look like that. I saw that earlier. Oh, I'm not talking close enough to the top of the mic.
What you
Top.
pontificate, you. Ugh.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something fun. We first met
Ooh, yes.
TEDx Detroit. You guys don't know how fancy this guy is. He and Charlie brought in and started and launched TEDx at the height of TEDx when Oprah was having all of
before that. People didn't have any idea what TEDx was when we brought it.
until Oprah took it to the critical mass
Yeah.
by billions. But okay, so they brought TEDx into Detroit, which was struggling at the time pre Dan Gilbert, and you and Charlie had that vision and foresight to bring it in, and you have ran TEDx Detroit for how long?
This will be 16 in September. So 16 years. Dan Gilbert stood on the TEDx Detroit stage in 2010, and I'll never forget this because it was like he reached in the audience and ripped my heart out with it. Not my heart, because that's too much. But he like slapped me in the face with it. He said, "You're all thinking too small. Skyscrapers are cheap." I was like,
Was not wrong.
what? He owned exactly 0 skyscrapers at the time he said it. And now he's got
Skyscrapers.
92.
Now it costs $1 million to live in Corktown.
Yeah, without thinking about it. It's
Let me
a
tell you,
whole
baby,
new world.
I was in the D. You know, we were in it. I was immersed in Detroit for a long time with the Who's Who. And it was a time when I saw Gilbert come in. I saw the whole thing roll out right in front of my eyes. We were with Greg McPartland. So we use,
Parjana.
Thank you. I've only said it every day for years. We used the Parjana offices, which were gorgeous. They were
We're saying were. Are they gone?
Yeah, they left because Bedrock.
You can't afford anything anymore because Bedrock took it. Yeah.
It was a Bedrock building at the time. Dan had just come in and bought up every single property in the city. And Bedrock was gorgeous. And then obviously with what he brought in, the rent just became ridiculous. It's ridiculous now to live down there.
It's a whole different world. It's a whole different place.
And add in the Lions' success, it's game over.
Yeah, no, it's actually crazy. I remember it was about 2018. I knew Detroit was back in 2016. That's when I stopped doing the whole 313D Love, celebrating Detroit Day on March 13th.
That's another thing for our viewers and listeners, like here, Genesee County, but we actually are doing a bigger reach now, but our 8-10 day, because you had said do an 8-10 day. Well, it's already established and done. But he oversaw 313 day in Detroit. Like you're it.
Made it.
People don't understand who you are. Like
That's okay.
You're the man.
I'm not trying to be anything other than some little helper monkey. That's it. I just want to serve.
I'm glad I wasn't drinking at that time, but it did prompt a cough.
It did. So yeah, that whole thing, man. I remember 2017, 2018, looking on Facebook, my buddy Nigel was talking about how he had taken his 2 kids and his wife to go down on a river cruise on the Detroit River. And I'm like, Detroit is back when white dudes named Nigel are taking their family for a river cruise. That's all you need to know about the future of the city. It's back.
Question for you. All during my media years, Detroit was number 11 DMA. I'm sure it's moved up in ranks. Do you have any idea?
I don't. I'm curious. Partially because I'm not even sure what DMA?
For the media buys.
Okay.
So for market buys.
Okay.
Detroit was number 11. I'm sure it's skyrocketed, but it's a different landscape now. They don't do a lot of media buys. Like automotive owned it, right?
No,
the big,
for sure.
huge buys. Now they do all digital, all streaming TV.
Yeah, it's really hard to count. And the city, unfortunately, finally showed its first population growth like just in the last 2 years.
Right.
Everything's been stabilized and not losing people by squads and squads, but it's only finally started to grow in the last couple of years.
That's weird, isn't it? Thinking, well, really, that's odd to me. I disagree with that because when Gilbert brought Quicken down and brought all the security, all of his employees pretty much moved downtown. Well, no, I lied. They probably were Royal Oak, Ferndale, Birmingham, whatever, surrounding burbs, but ultimately Detroit's the place to be if you can afford it.
If you can afford it, right? And
you
so
can,
the
like,
people,
off 8 Mile.
The people that were there had to leave.
Yeah,
right?
they were.
So it's you're bringing people in and pushing people out simultaneously.
More,
Yeah.
yes. Well,
So
there's a word for that, Terry.
I believe. Are we going to say it?
You are.
I'm not saying it.
I'm not either. Okay.
I'm not falling for that. Put the banana in the tailpipe.
Smart man.
Mm-hmm.
So then what we're going to do, and here's breaking news.
Ooh.
We are bringing
Do you have a
TEDx
sound
to
effect?
Flint. We are bringing TEDx to Flint. Do you have a different one? One more time. Breaking news. Terry Bean, Charlie, Kristen are bringing TEDx to Flint.
Oh, that's got a peaceful little sound to it. So that's
It's going to
exciting.
be fire, though. So we'll probably shoot out for 2025. Follow your protocol. You guys will be contracted in to help run the show and help us little birdies out the nest and be a big part of it. But we've already identified a location. Woo. And it won't be hard getting speakers.
It will not.
I already have the stage. I've got all the equipment. Everything's handled. And then it's the launch, and then it's the growth.
That's super exciting.
Isn't that
Are
cool?
you super excited?
Yes.
Are you ready?
But I'm earthy, so I'm very controlled in my excitement.
You're like your earth is just wafting off of you.
Right.
And it's it's nice.
It's cool. So thank you for your help, because I know I've told you it quite a few times, but now I've really just let it out of the bag, and now you have to do it.
That's people heard. People heard. Now there's proof. There's evidently video. Look, I'm right there. And I'd say,
And you're tan. Oh, boat season, baby.
Tan, yeah.
I know you're on that
I
boat.
live on a lake.
No one's mad.
No one's mad. No one's jealous. It's all right. It was. It's been kind of a lousy little
That's
weather.
why people hate you.
Well,
or love
that's
you.
not the only reason. Let's not get all the way into that.
So real excited about that. And TEDx Detroit, him saying skyscrapers, jaw drop, but it came to fruition.
Yeah.
But also your thought leaders, your critical leaders, even on any scale, small to large, small to grandiose, your small thinker, you've had beautiful, what a life. What a blessing. You've met the most dynamic people.
It's been really, really cool, right?
Yeah.
And the secret is show up.
99% of life.
Show up.
And so you've had some really great speakers on, and you've learned a lot. And for the show to sustain, it really hit a high, like the highest north point, when Oprah really kind of pushed it, and then Brene Brown came on and everything.
It showed up in an Apple ad, right? When they launched the iPad 2, the opening scene in that commercial was somebody watching a TED Talk.
And then to continue to sustain the legacy, because it's a brand, it's huge, and people want to do it. In fact, Erin Coney is really branching out her brand, and I hopefully applied. Because tell me the process to get on TEDx.
So you nailed it. There's an application process, and that application includes a bunch of your just general information, but then you've got to pitch your talk. Mm-hmm. And there's a written pitch, and then there should be a video of you speaking. I work with some people that I try and help get on different TEDx stages, because it would be disingenuous to get paid to put people on the TEDx Detroit stage, and that's not who I am. That said, put a video together, not just like of you talking about whatever, but pitch your idea via video.
Right.
Right? And be succinct and be quick, but make sure that it's an idea worth spreading.
Right.
Because it kind of has to be.
100. So you get quite a few applicants. How many speakers do you actually pick for the event?
There's about 25
Sure.
speakers, but then there's also artists or musicians
It's
or
everything.
magicians or comedians, right? It's a festival.
It is. And how long does it last?
Ours is a day. And so many of them, because I've done a ton of research this last year,
What do you
many of
think?
them are only 2 or 3 hours long. They're evening slots. They might have 6 or 8 speakers.
So I've come to your series. I'll come this year. It's been a couple years because I was Sandy Bullock crying in my bed.
Right.
But I'm back. But you pick the most beautiful, usually historical landmark, and it changes.
It changes.
Venue changes, and then it's a day. So you got to carve out a whole day, and it's an experience, and it's so fun. You go down and you can listen to everyone. You can, piecemeal who you want to listen to, have a great meal, enjoy. It's a thing. It's an experience, and then go to your talk, listen to your person, and then you're invigorated and you're inspired or you learn. It's really a magical day.
It'll put a pep in your step, some fire in your belly, some fresh ideas in your head. It is a roller coaster of a day.
It's amazing. And when you have it every year, fourth quarter.
Every year, usually sometime between September and November, right before Thanksgiving. This year, it's going to be the middle of September. It looks like the 18th.
Good. That's the best time to have it. The weather's really crisp and cool and pretty predictable.
Right. Otherwise, we've had TEDx's where it was 78 degrees and sunny and 28 degrees and rainy.
I've been to
hopefully
all
the tent
that weather.
didn't blow away.
And then real quickly, when does the applicant process open up?
It will be open by July 14th.
Okay, 7/14. So because you guys have been doing this so long, like that short amount of time and without the announcement of TEDx, but it's such a, a legacy that people know that July.
It's coming.
They move fast. It'll happen. Where probably with Flint, we'll be a little more methodical in terms of timing.
Yes.
And precise because, with it being the first one. And then you have the event, and it's quite an undertaking, and it's really cool and magical. And you and Charlie work your asses off, and then you go on the boat.
And then you don't get paid a bit, right? Because it's all volunteer.
Well, yeah, it's all volunteer.
And it's
because you and I
nonprofit.
have a similar NBA legend friend who wanted, tens of thousands of dollars, and I had to remind him it's volunteer. And that was a fun talk.
Sorry, sir. There's no money in that coffer.
Right. So it's all volunteer. Yeah. But you know what? That goes back to who we are.
That's it.
It's so important, and it's so passionate. It's cool.
Give back to the community at the highest level.
Thank you. And thank you for your help with our big announcement. It's going to be great. And that's when we first met in 2015, because I had actually did the entire application process for someone else who did get selected. And so I know the work that goes into it too. It's a little laborious.
He did a great job kicking it off too. It was that session. And I'll tell you, those were 3 people that were cool little cucumbers in a room.
He's fine.
Oh, we have a special guest.
We have a special guest.
And we have a super special guest. How exciting. Look at you, big guy. What's going on?
He just says, I love my grandma so much.
I can't
And
wait.
Nana Jana is in from
Hi.
Florida.
Marco Island, I hear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's world famous already.
Oh, she's infamous. And you meet her and I make a lot of sense. So I love you, Terry Bean. Oh, look at him. Love his. So he's the baby.
This is the littlest one. All right.
He's the littlest big one.
All right,
And
littlest big one.
they're 19 months apart. He has an older brother, but brother is up with grandpa. And we got him, and they're both only.
You got
give
knuckles?
him knucks.
You
Give
got
him
some
knucks.
knucks?
He does.
We don't do that, eh?
He does.
Well, hey, listen, no knuckling strangers. That's good policy.
I love you.
All right. Are we still filming? Are we done?
We are.
filming?
We're filming.
Okay. I was
so we're
curious.
gonna wrap it up.
Nice.
TEDx Detroit coming September of
Yes.
2025, July 14th. TEDx applications open up. So check it out on what website?
TEDxDetroit.com.
How can people get a hold of you? Thought you are a growth coach. I love that. You're not a life coach. You're a growth coach.
I'm a growth coach.
And you really are. How can people get a hold of you?
I'm easiest to find at trybean.com.
Trybean.com, and that will be up on our YouTube video, our YouTube channel. Oh, you're done?
He's out.
He's retired from showbiz. And then the big announcement of TEDx Flint for 2025.
Down, baby.
So excited. As always, love you. Thank you for
Absolute
being on the
pleasure.
show.
Thank
It's
you for having
my
me.
privilege and honor. You guys, thank you, viewers, listeners, the whole production team, Zach, Celeste, Delaney, and my mom. I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be born if my mom didn't give birth to me. And
accurate.
my beautiful family. So thank you so much. This has been the Kristen Willow Show.